Hey guys, and welcome to my 21 weeks pregnancy update with baby number 3. Let's start off with a belly shot first thing. So here is the 21 weeks baby bump for baby number 3. So I actually had 2 doctor's appointments in this past week, which was really good because they both went super well and I got some good news and things are looking really awesome. So let's talk about the first appointment. It was an ultrasound last week and it was awesome because we got to actually spend a lot of time, well not we, me and the ultrasound tech I guess, got to spend a lot of time looking at baby and watching baby roll and we got to see their hands and their feet, and every time that she came near the baby junk she always had me close my eyes and she knew that I didn't want to find out, so baby's sex is still a secret to me. Nobody that I know knows. I'm sure the ultrasound tech knows, but yeah, so that was nice that I remembered to remind her and that she was really great about it, because it was a nice long ultrasound. Got to watch baby doing all kinds of things, which was super exciting. Everything looked really good and baby is measuring like a giant, guys. So my 2 boys, Calvin and Eren, who are 4 and 2, they always measured big, maybe a week ahead, maybe a week and a half. I don't feel like they ever were really 2 weeks ahead, but this baby was measuring 2 weeks ahead in a lot of measurements. She averaged it out to about a week and a half ahead, and she asked me 3 different times if I knew for sure that my last period was my last period and if my cycles had been regular. She asked me a million times and I was like, dude, yes. I know that that's when I had my last period. There's no way that the baby's actually 2 weeks ahead, but my babies are just big apparently. I told her, my boys were both a week and a half ahead, so it kind of makes sense. It's just another big baby, which is kind of crazy. And honestly, I know it's a silly thing to say, but it makes me feel like it's a boy again, just because the boys were both big and the boys were both boys, and so now I'm oh well, this baby's even bigger than the boys were, so it's definitely got to be a boy, right? So when I got home from the appointment and I was telling my husband about everything, and every time I would mention baby I said he the whole time. I couldn't help myself. I thought for sure my husband was gonna be don't you accidentally found out, or you asked her what the sex of the baby was, but it was all unintentional. I just couldn't help myself. I don't know if it's because I really feel I really do strongly, actually, since this appointment, feel it's a boy, really strongly now. I used to not really feel either way, and for a while, I kind of was feeling a little bit more boy, but after that appointment, after watching baby on the ultrasound for 45 minutes, I just can't get it out of my mind. I keep referring to them as a he, it's a boy in my mind. So anyway, my husband was just kind of suspicious of me saying he all the time, but I couldn't help myself. That's just how I referred to the baby. But also I've had 2 boy pregnancies before, so maybe it's just me being so used to calling the baby in my belly a he anyway, so who knows, but the appointment was a lot of fun. We got some really great pictures. The thing about that was at my high-risk doctor at maternal fetal medicine, they always print out pictures for you, unlike my regular doctor who just adds it onto a little flash drive that you have to go home and look at. So it was really nice to have hard copies of the pictures, so we even got duplicates of their profile so that the grandmas could each have a picture and stuff like that, so really exciting. So at that same appointment, baby was measuring heart rate at 148, which is about what the boys always were, 148, 153. That's kind of the range that the boys were usually in. And she said my cervix was looking really good. It was measuring between 4 and 4.5 centimeters, which is good. I remember last time with Eren, they said anything under 2.5 maybe was considered kind of not good. So, so that's really good. Baby was estimated at a weight of 1 pound, 2 ounces, which is just so big. When she said 1 pound, I was like, are you kidding me? Already? Oh my gosh, this person is gonna be a giant. I don't know how these people keep being giants because I'm only 5'3". My husband's only 5'11". It's not like he's really tall or anything. Why are these kids so big? And she did measure the deepest pocket of amniotic fluid. So it's called an AFI, deepest pocket AFI, I think is what they call it. So amniotic fluid index. They measured my fluid and the deepest pocket was only 4 centimeters, which is really good. because I mean, it was always really, really bad with the boys. My fluids still looked good to me, like just visually, just seeing it on the monitor, like everything looked good. She didn't mention anything about having high fluids or anything, but I know it's still kind of early to technically be diagnosed with having high fluids. So I do go back in like 3 or 4 weeks and we'll measure again, and hopefully things are still looking good at that appointment. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that appointment because I really want to know, as my other pregnancies have gone, they usually start out good, and then once we get close to the 3rd trimester, once we get into the 3rd trimester, things just start going downhill, and like, I would really like things to just continue going really good. Okay, so then, so I had the ultrasound on a Thursday, and then I went back in on the following Monday to meet with the actual doctor. And he said everything looked good. He said, you know, my cervix length looked really good, and that we would come back for that next appointment and check it again and make sure it's still looking good. And he made it sound like if it's still looking good at that next appointment, that I probably shouldn't have to go see them anymore. So that would be really nice. But the same kind of thing happened with Eren, I think. And at that next appointment is when they noticed that my fluid levels were so high, and so they still have me coming in to check my fluid levels. So hopefully the fluid levels are good at this next appointment at that doctor's office with this baby. You know, I know every pregnancy is different, but it's just sucky because the boys, like, I had high fluid with both of them, and so I'm like, I feel like I'm just like destined to have it, but I really do also feel totally contradictory. I feel like things are just different this time. I really do feel like high hopes that things are going to go good this time, that we're not going to have high fluids, that stupid things aren't going to happen. I've been very, very positive about that this whole time, so hopefully it continues. So yeah, the doctor said I would continue taking my Procardia, which is a pill that my regular OB has given me for if I start having contractions, I can take that pill and it will make them go away. It's just an occasional thing, you know, it's not something I take every day. It's just if I have contractions, then I can take this pill. And then he also said I didn't have to take the hormone shots, which my regular doctor had mentioned that probably I wouldn't have to take them this time. So I don't have to take those this time either. So really the only thing that they're doing at the high risk office is measuring my cervix to make sure that it's not starting to shorten. It's not starting to, you know, act like we're close to labor, right? So hopefully it remains good. So I'm really excited. He just said, the doctor was like, I am such a different case because with my first pregnancy with Calvin, my membranes ruptured at 32 weeks, and my doctor, the doctor that I ended up with just by chance at the hospital, he let me go until 37 weeks to deliver, which most doctors would not have done that. They would have delivered you at like 34, 35 weeks. But my doctor that I had with Calvin wanted to see how far I could go. He just thought things looked really good. They kept me on antibiotics and they were always monitoring me for infection. He just wanted to see how far I could go, and I made it all the way to 37 weeks. And so the doctor at maternal fetal medicine just yesterday was just like, he's just a rare case doctor. He said he worked with him for like 8 years ago, and he just said he is just a different doctor. So my case is very unique according to the maternal fetal medicine doctor that I saw yesterday, just that I technically haven't had a preterm birth, even though my membranes ruptured at 32 weeks with Calvin. So it's just a different case. So it's really hard for them to really like choose what to do with me because I technically don't have a history of preterm birth, right? So anyway, hopefully this baby is good and stays in there until like 38 weeks, and then we won't have to worry about that. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is that I did see that I have an anterior placenta again this time, which I kind of suspected a little bit because it felt like it was taking a while to feel baby, really. And so yeah, I had that with Calvin. I had an anterior placenta with Calvin, which means that the placenta is just like on the outermost part of your, like this part of your belly, like right here is where your placenta is. With Eren, my placenta was a fundal placenta, which means it's like up here at the very top of your uterus. And I felt Eren so much more than I felt Calvin, because with Calvin you had the placenta was like an extra barrier between your hand and baby. So I couldn't really feel him as good as I felt with Eren, where the placenta was up top. The placenta with Eren actually even protected my rib cage from getting his little feet up in there. Calvin always had his little feet up in my rib cage, but Eren, I didn't have that problem because my placenta was kind of like protecting my ribs. So this time around, it's on the outside again, and I kind of thought that that was gonna be the case. Just kind of based on how I've been feeling the baby and how long it kind of took to feel baby and that kind of stuff. So yeah. So I feel like this week's update is pretty much all about my doctor's appointments. I do go back next Monday for my regular office, the regular OB's 20-week, anatomy scan, which is gonna be fun because, that's another, long ultrasound where you get to spend a lot of time looking at babies, so that'll be fun. Hopefully I will remember to tell her that I don't want to know the sex, and hopefully she sees in the file that I don't want to know the sex, so hopefully we won't find out next week. The only other thing is just on my list I have this weird symptom that I kind of wanted to talk about, and it's something that's been happening the whole pregnancy, but I just decided to add it to the list of things to talk about this week. I don't know why. Maybe I've been eating more things with garlic because it has to do with garlic. So it's not that I don't like garlic. It's that garlic has been a very strong, it just feels like it's a stronger taste than before. Like if I have something with garlic, I feel like I taste it on my breath. I feel like I can taste it all day long after having it once during the day. And that's not how it used to be. Anytime these days when I make a recipe with garlic, I always cut the garlic in half because it just seems so very intense, just like really, really garlicky. Like the littlest bit of garlic feels like so garlicky, and it lingers in my mouth like all day long, and it's like super weird. And I think that I saw that when I was doing, when I was looking up like different old wives' tales, something about garlic. Like if you smell like garlic, you're having a boy or girl or whatever, something weird about garlic. And maybe that's kind of what triggered me to like double think about my garlic issue lately. Not that it's an issue, I still eat things with garlic in it, it just feels like it's like a really, really intense flavor lately. So let me know if you've had any kind of weird experiences like that down in the comments below, because I want to know. I want to know if I'm just a crazy person. I've never noticed this in my previous 2 pregnancies, but garlic is definitely an issue this time around. So yeah, that's it for today's little video. I thought that that was kind of a weird little extra symptom to add in there to a video that's like all about the doctor's appointments. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know anything else that you want to see videos about, anything you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments below, and I will be sure to make some videos for you guys for any kind of requests that you have. So I love you guys, thank you for following on this journey, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.